You can stand on a busy city sidewalk, completely surrounded by thousands of people, and still feel entirely alone. Most of us share a desire for deep connection, yet we often find ourselves in this exact position, isolated within the crowd. This happens because social connection isn't a random occurrence. It follows a structured pyramid of distinct tiers, and understanding where people sit within that structure is the first step toward changing how we interact with them. This process begins the moment you see someone new. For a brief, multi-second window, they enter the neutral tier. This is the time it takes for your brain to perform a subconscious scan, sorting them into one of two categories based on immediate survival instincts. If someone gives off signals of aggression or instability, your brain drops them into the faux tier. This triggers a physical reaction, the fight, flight, or freeze response, that makes being near them feel viscerally uncomfortable. But if they seem safe, they move into the stranger tier. This is where you'll find the vast majority of people you see, the commuters on your train or the people in line at the store. You recognize they exist, but you haven't yet shared a single word. While these casual encounters are a normal part of life, they don't provide the level of interaction required to feel connected to others. As long as the people in your life remain in this tier, the feeling of being alone in a crowd persists. To move up, we enter the acquaintance tier. These are the people you recognize from a coffee shop or a hallway and stop to exchange basic small talk with. But the defining limit here is intentionality. You likely only see acquaintances by chance, or because a mutual friend happened to invite you both to the same place. Because these interactions are mostly coincidental, they rarely reach the depth needed to build a lasting bond. And right above that is the friend tier. These are a handful of people you actively choose to spend time with, inviting them to events and sharing a decent amount of laughs. You feel comfortable in their presence, but there's a ceiling. Most of what you share remains on the surface, focused on common interests rather than personal details. This provides a baseline of social comfort, but it's still a relatively shallow connection. It lacks the vulnerability required to truly move past that initial sense of isolation. To move past that, we reach the close friend tier, a space usually occupied by only 2 to 4 people. Now these bonds are defined by time. They have stood the test of consistent interaction over a year or more, surviving different phases of your life. Because of that history, you feel a level of comfort that allows for real vulnerability. You can share personal secrets and find the kind of support that significantly changes how you feel about your social life. At the absolute peak of the pyramid is the significant other. For most, this is a single person. They are the one you trust the most, share the deepest conversations with, and in most cases, share a romantic interest with. Cultivating relationships at these top 2 levels is what finally bridges the gap between being surrounded by people and actually feeling connected to them. This is the full structure of human connection, mapping the journey from a subconscious split-second judgment to the most valued person in your life. The pyramid highlights a simple truth. While we encounter vast numbers at the bottom, only a select few occupy the top. Now that we understand this architecture, we have to look at the mechanics of the climb. How do we take someone from the wide base of the stranger tier and move them toward the peak? In our next lesson, we're going to break down the 4 specific factors that determine the speed and success of these transitions. Mastering these factors allows you to stop leaving your relationships to chance and start building a community of people you can truly rely on. Stay tuned.